Hi, everyone. This is Lisa Haven, and I've just got this gut feeling that I've got to share with you. And that's this. I believe I know what is about to happen here in America. And I am taking a hunch and guessing that you guys feel that as well or sense it as well. Now, if I'm wrong about what I'm going to share with you, please comment below. Let me know. But in all honesty, I don't think I am. Could I be? Sure. But I don't see things happening that way. Ever since the Oregon shooting, Obama has been on a rampage to take our guns. Now, he's always been on a rampage to take our guns. However, he ignited this thing and set it aflame on fire at the Oregon meeting. Now, at the Oregon speech that he gave at the White House. Now, here's what I want to share about that. First, we had the UN meeting, the United Nations Sustainable Development meeting, and the Pope coming. That all happened in September. We know that the UN is very anti-gun. They push disarmament, they push reintegration. They don't want us to have any weapons, anyone in the world. They just want to have the elite armed and their military armed, so to speak. Now, that agenda obviously has always been on the mind of the UN and always been on the mind of Obama. But with the Sustainable Development meeting, I believe that they decided at that meeting at some point to push more and more gun rights, gun legislation. Taking our gun rights, I should say, but more legislation. That's exactly why the Oregon shooting happened shortly thereafter the meeting. Now they have a reason, another reason. They will make a reason up. They will send an MK Ultra agent. Who knows? There's lots of ways they can go about these false flags or whatever. But since that event that happened in Oregon, Obama promised he would come up against it over and over again. Let me play that clip.
And each time this happens, I'm going to bring this up. Each time this happens, I am going to say that we can actually do something about it, but we're going to have to change our laws.
All right, so Obama basically says every time that we have a shooting of any kind, he's going to come out and stand against it and make his little announcement and start saying we can do something about this. He's promised. That's what's going to happen. So here is what I believe, or what I know is about to happen. Again, if I'm wrong, comment below, but here it is. First, we're going to notice city by city, maybe even state by state, the media broadcasting any and all shootings. They're going to start broadcasting, maybe not every shooting, but they're going to make it a point to start putting those more consistently on TV. They're already on TV a lot, but they're going to be more. And then they're going to have their little anti-gun slant added to that. First at a slow pace, and then it's going to ignite and skyrocket as we see more and more of these gun violence things being promoted on media. Now, we know they're going to do this because the media, at least the mainstream lying media, works glove in hand with our government. What's the agenda of the Obama administration right now to get rid of our guns? It's going to be pushed through. It's going to be brainwashed into people who follow, CNN and all MSNBC and ABC and all these mainstream lying media news giants because they want to take our guns. That is the goal. That is 100% the goal. And I believe we are about to see an uptick in shooting activity being broadcast on the media in order to brainwash the sleeping masses, not you guys, because I know you guys are awake, but the sleeping masses into believing that guns are bad and we need to get rid of guns. And could happen as a result, if we don't get our voices loud enough, what could happen is that sleeping mass will just walk along and go with the flow. They'll say, yeah, take our guns. It's a good thing. This is something we could see in the near future. First, it's going to start with gun legislation of sorts. They're going to start, confiscating certain types of guns and certain types of ammo, which they've already started doing. But it's going to uptick eventually till they make it to where, you can have one gun at home, only one for protection. You're not allowed to bring it out of the home, or you're only allowed to use it for hunting. But there'll be all kinds of stipulations on our guns that it's going to be sickly insane. And that's what I foresee, 100%. And the trouble is, once our guns are gone, tyranny will rule. That history proves. Just like Thomas Jefferson said, and I'm blanking on his quote right now, but when the government fears the people, there is liberty. But when the people fear the government, there is tyranny. That's his quote. Hopefully I have it close. But that's it in a nutshell. We're headed straight to tyranny. If they start taking my gun and anybody else's gun, who do they have left to fear? Then no one, because they have the guns. They have the power. If you don't do this or you don't do that or you disagree, let's put you in jail. We have the guns. We have the authority. And ultimately, that's what the UN wants. They want their world police force, which they're already starting to make a world police force through the Strong Cities Network. And I've talked about that a few times, but that ignited, you guessed it, at the United Nations. Obviously, the UN backs this thing. While the UN's name ain't officially on it at this point, it's definitely backed. The Strong Cities Network, if you don't know, is a network of police departments and, all different kinds of agencies working together internationally with other PDs against extremism, against the New World Order. It doesn't say against the New World Order at this time, but I assure you, other documents like the right-wing extremists, Project Megiddo, and others says that that's exactly where this is headed. And we already know that their definition for homegrown extremism is very broad. It's not just ISIS, it's not just them, but they've made it clear that veterans, gun owners, patriots, Christians can also fall into that category. So, if I'm wrong about the local media, I'm blanking. If I'm wrong about the local media upping their ante on local shootings, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me below. I'd love to hear it. But here's the thing. Just within the last few days, we've already had 3. I'm going to leave links below. I'm not going to take you to the site. But Northern Arizona University, a student opens fire on a campus. And that one is on Daily News and a bunch of others. But they're calling it gun massacre. Okay, notice the underlining hint there. Anti-gun, all of it is. And then if you go to a lot of those photos, it shows him holding his guns all proud and prim and happy. Okay, again, another way that they're trying to show this in a bad light, right? Guns are not the problem. People using the guns in a bad manner, like a mass murderer with the gun is a bad idea, or any murderer with a gun. It is not the gun that is the problem. Guns actually save more lives every year than take them. That's a statistic that they're not sharing with you. And then we have on Chicago Tribune, 1 dead, 6 wounded in a shooting in Chicago. And that was October 9th. The other one was also October 9th. And then we also have another one, and this is on Newsweek. 1 dead, suspect possibly in custody after shooting near Texas Southern University in Houston. Also October 9th. This was all put out in the news, October 9th. Is there an agenda? Absolutely. And there's probably more that are surfacing. I want to encourage you guys, Google daily if you can, Google weekly about shootings. See how many they come up and see them increase over time, because their goal is to confiscate our guns. Anyhow, I wanted to bring you the latest on that. Leave your comments below, because I'm curious if you guys are feeling the same way, and if you feel that they're about to up that ante on they're about to get into gun laws, gun legislation, and eventually it could go all the way to confiscation. Anyhow, this is Lisa Haven signing off.